Last night when I pulled into camp, it was around 10:30 or 11. Got set up, transferred the film data over to my hard drives. I think I finally got to sleep at midnight. I'm feeling really emotional today. Like I just need somebody to talk to, somebody to share in the experience with. I need my wife here with me. And although this trail may seem unrelenting and overwhelming in its size and capacity for one person to traverse and film, I'm also filled with gratitude to be here. Gratitude for my wife, the mother of my 2 children, but she inspired and motivated me. And now I'm going to keep pushing on. Let's get day 5 started.
Welcome to my adventure. Welcome to Pacific Crest, the series. California. Episode 2, The Passage. Proudly presented by Norworld Australia. When your adventure demands built to last, demand a Norworld. In association with 4-Wheel Campers. Find your adventure. And from viewers like you, thank you for your continued support. In this series, I'm finding and exploring the last remaining wild places left in California by traversing the Pacific Crest overland route. Over the last 4 days, I've traveled from the Oregon-California border, over the mountains and through the valleys to wind up here at Sunrise Pass in Nevada. In all, Nevada only made up 94 total miles of travel and 1 night stay while I was following the HEMA Maps version of the Pacific Crest overland route.
It looks like we'll be at Sunrise Basin in just a few more miles. And I'm super excited for that. Really wanting to stay there last night, but I just didn't have the energy to make it. Tonight, I'm hoping is a lot different in that I keep saying it, but I would really love to get to camp around 6 or 7 at night. I really want to do it so I can cook up a proper dinner and decompress from the daily activities and maybe even get in a couple yoga reps. I'm not sure. My body's definitely feeling worn and a little torn from all the driving. About 100 miles a day is what it pans out to be. And there's no lack of try on my part. It's definitely pushing the limits on how much I can drive per day. But trust me, this is not a pity party. This is not a wine fest. This is just what it is. Cell phone signal's gone. So looks like we're good. Good to open her up a little bit. Clear road ahead of us, so let's get to it.
Sunrise Pass Road will guide you through juniper, sage, and deep canyons leading into the Pine Nut Mountains. There's a mini side trail that'll lead you to natural springs, abandoned mines, and scenic views. Soon enough, I arrive at Sunrise Basin, which is a large depression in the middle of the Pine Nut Mountains and provides a great view of Lion Peak. And after a short climb out of Sunrise Basin, the road descends into the most northern end of Smith Valley. Smith Valley was settled in 1859 by cattle ranchers and transitioned into farmland, which seems to be a recurring theme of the Pacific Crest Overland Route, and why I believe this is the trail to personally witness the few remaining wild places in California.
I noticed it this morning, but even more so now. That sweet smell of sagebrush has just filled the air. It smells incredible out. It's a lot similar to that cedar forest that I drove through yesterday. The aroma permeated everything on you. And now that's the same thing with the sagebrush out here. Drone down, drone down. Uh-oh. Dang old brush reached out and grabbed it. Where you at, little buddy? Gimbal, motor, overloaded. Oof. Okay. Let's go find this little buddy. Find my drone. Burp. Start flashing and beeping. Thank you very much. Hang on, Jerome. I got you. I got you, little buddy. The gimbal's a little jacky wonky, but we'll see if it's still good. All right, let's give it a look, see if the drone still works. It's official. Drone still works wonderfully. Incredible, absolutely amazing. Can't believe it. That's the third time this trip. The drone that all other drones aspire to be. Incredible. I way overuse that word. Now the air is starting to smell a lot more like the juniper. Looks like we just entered like a micro juniper forest. It smells great. The smell of this place only deepens the experience. It makes it that much more visceral. It's incredible. Just from 2 miles ago to here, how the smell of the environment has changed so dramatically. Instead of the sagebrush smell, now the air is filled with juniper. So cool. For this particular section, 35 to 40 is right about the sweet point for the harmonics of the road and the suspension to all work together. Even with the whale of a camper on here, it feels perfect going that speed. Not out of control, not dangerous. It's absorbing all the bumps and the whoops and all the washboards exceptionally well. From the looks of it, we're diving back down into the valley. Not quite sure where we go from here, but I'm excited to see it.
As I head south, I quickly pass through Wellington and land in Antelope Valley, where I find repose in the West Walker River.
Right now I'm up here at the China-California border. It's extremely beautiful. I didn't realize China and California intersected, especially right here. Kind of a weird label to have here on the ground. This is the secondary route. You know, I guess you could take the road down below. You know, or you could live the adventure and take the road less traveled. It's pretty amazing up here. There's so much to see. Besides the emotional ups and downs and the exhaustion starting to set in, you know, things are going along well. The totality of miles for California, I think I'm just barely scratching the surface right now, not even halfway. But that'll be pretty exciting once we reach that point. We should be there around tomorrow afternoon.
As I saw China Garden on the map, I was intrigued to figure out what it was. The history goes like this. In the early 1900s, this was a place of vegetable farming by a Chinese man who sold the produce to local miners, and was henceforth known as Chinaman Flat, up until 1951 when it was changed to China Garden.
All right, so we just got off Bircham Flat Road. Now we're going to take the 395 all the way down to Bridgeport, where we're going to get fuel and water. I'm severely dehydrated right now, and that's probably why I'm getting a little delirious. That was an incredible road. The views were magnificent, and if you only had one weekend to go somewhere, I would definitely go there. I gotta go ahead and air up, and then we're just gonna truck our way down the road to Bridgeport. Vibing out my style. Maybe I'm just chilling and cruising.
I'm not sure what it quite was, but once I got into the Bodie Hills, things just started to unwind.
Just made it out to the Bodie Hills. Looks like we might actually make camp on time tonight. Ha! That'd be great. I should be camping right outside of Bodie Historic State Park area. That way I can hit that first thing in the morning, check that place out, and then head down to Mono Lake. Boom. Then we'll head up to Four Wheel Camper headquarters. Hell yeah. Feel those stress melt away. All right, man. Bodie Hills. Woo! This is too funny not to mention. I think the road's closed and we probably should go around. Check it out. Oh, that's hilarious.
I literally couldn't believe my eyes. This snowdrift was massive. And at first, I didn't even see the bypass. It wasn't until I stepped back to take some pictures of the truck when I saw this established trail. The stress, the time constraints, the trying to complete sections on certain amounts of hours so I could make it to Overland Expo, it all just kind of started to fade away. It was like it didn't really even matter anymore. It felt so good to be out here. Bodie Hills road conditions were pretty good for the most part, except there were still a few snowdrifts left on the road. This next snowdrift just seemed a little too sketchy to continue all the way through. I was basically just forced to either go around or to use these established trails that bypass the drifts completely.
After trying to get through that section on the back of Bodie Mountain, it was impassable. I was able to scout with the drone a side trail that supposedly goes all the way around it. So that's what I'm going to take now. You know, obviously it's hard to judge how firm the edge of the road is, and I would have been within 6 inches of the edge, you know, with all the full weight of the truck. And it just didn't seem smart to attempt that spot. And the bypass went by both gnarly sections that you'll see on the drone. But we'll see how rugged this section is through here. All I have is drone footage. I don't know how difficult it will be. Sounds like I've got a couple of new pinstripes. So a word of warning when you come to Bodie Mountain with that shelf road, just be prepared to take the bypass if it's early to late spring, but this would be completely impassable in the probably just a few weeks ago. If there was any snow, you know, 2-3 feet of snow on the ground out here, you wouldn't even be able to take the bypass. I don't like the snow. The road is in sight. Whew. It looks like that's it. Thank goodness. I couldn't take any more of that. Here we are. Booyah. Made it. Driving up onto this town, it looks freaking like something out of the Old West. It looks badass. I didn't realize I'm almost done with the third leg of this trip. I'm going back up the hill. A, there's too many people down there. B, I'm not gonna go through Bodie right now. And finally, it just seems right to stay up here tonight where I can actually see the sunset. Jam with me too. We finally got that sunset. Man, it was a good one. It was really, really, really good. I'm so pumped about that sunset. It's making me on fire right now. And I get a shower right now. Time to take a shower. Give me some power. Time to scrub my body. Get the stink off me. Ooh, ooh. I was just about to jump in the shower and I was going to turn the heater on to get this place pre-cooked, but the heater doesn't want to turn on. The heater's kind of finicky, and if you beat it up too hard it likes to malfunction. I've got a little bit of cell signal so I can call the family tonight. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling 180 degrees from this morning, I'll tell you what. Propane's working. Switch is working. But as you can hear, it's not kicking on the heat. It's just blowing the fan. Okay, goal zero is unplugged because I was pulling 60 watts. I'm just going to check all the fuses again. Even the end lines, make sure none of those are blown. And I'm going to cycle the whole battery system. Still intact, looking good. All right, everything's on, everything's attached. Feels good to go. So let's try the furnace again. Yep. Steak dinner tonight. Boom. So in about 5 or 10 minutes that should just fall over on its own. We're gonna go ahead and let that cook while I shower. That's exactly what I needed tonight. Incredible shower. Whew. Whoa. Whoa. Yep, that sure paired up perfectly with the steak.
Join me next time as we travel back in time and take a tour through Bodie Ghost Town. Then head over to Mono Lake and then head toward Four Wheel Camper headquarters to meet up with Isaac and Shannon of Norworld, Australia. As always, thank you for joining me and thank you for your continued support. I'm Austin with WolfPac-Outdoors. I'll holler at you later.
Perfect.